Hi, and welcome to episode 9 of the Aussie Tech Crypto Show, a show about cryptocurrency from an Australian viewpoint. I'm your host, Jason Oakley, and this is my co-host, Will Tomkinson. Hey, Will.
Hey, mate. How are you?
Good. How's things up there?
Yeah, not too bad for a beginner.
Don't tell me you sold your beard for crypto.
Well, no, it's an interesting story, actually. We did Aussie Tech Heads a couple of nights ago, and I, after that, just couldn't sleep, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just saw my clippers sitting in front of me on the desk, and went, oh, let's go and use that. So it's like sleep deprivation haircut.
No.
So
So it wasn't being drunk after all?
I hadn't got to that yet.
Not this time.
That's potentially the next stage, yeah.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. Yeah, things been going all right here. I've got new firmware in my router using a third-party WRT one, and my Wi-Fi actually works, which is great. I didn't realize for the last year my Wi-Fi has been so terrible. I mean, even just editing stuff in SSH shell sessions to the work computers, and I'd type things in, and then I'd wait, and then I'd put it on the screen, then I'd type a bit more, and then go and stop and go. I was like, oh, must be because I'm encrypted and it's going to America and there's lag and stuff like this. And no, it turned out that it was my Wi-Fi was crap because I was using the default Netgear firmware.
Yes. Well, at least you could put aftermarket software on it, so that's good.
Yeah, I was a bit apprehensive at first. I was like, if this doesn't work, I potentially have to buy a new router. But apparently they're pretty hardy. You can just do a factory reset and reinstall the old firmware and it comes straight back.
Having said that, if it didn't work, we potentially had to buy a new router anyway. So
yeah,
it's sort of
50-50.
Yes, yeah.
Might as well. But yeah, it's rock solid now. Fantastic.
No, it's good. We're actually getting decent picture and audio back as well. So there's less delay and less lag, and it makes editing a lot easier, I'll tell you that.
I hope so.
For the first... You're not going to believe this. It doesn't happen here. We've never had this happen. We had rain again today.
Oh, no.
I think we've had rain every day for about a month solid.
Wow.
At least some amount of rain every day for the last month. It's just been insane.
We had a tiny sprinkle for 10 minutes yesterday.
It's just like... I mowed the lawn about 2 o'clock this afternoon because it starts raining usually about 3. So I mowed the lawn about 2 and it's still just that thick and wet and feral that even the ride-on just didn't want to know about it.
No.
So,
yes, I haven't had that much rain, but I still have to mow too much. Don't like it. Put a new mower to 4-stroke finally because the electric mower just couldn't cut it. It was annoying to change the battery and change the battery and change the battery. So I was just like, stuff it. I'm going back to burning algae from a billion years ago.
I got an electric mower as well. I got the ride-on, but I got the electric mower, and it wouldn't cut the grass. It was that thick, so I just put more batteries in it.
Yep.
Now it does.
Fix it. More power.
It was 24 volts, now 48 volt. It cuts everything now.
Even the concrete, the car, the house.
Yeah, that's it. It just keeps going. It's like Bubba's got one of those little ride-on electric car things. Yeah, it first started off as a little 6-volt single wheel drive little thing, and didn't take long to burn that motor out. So we've got a 12-volt one, and he broke the gearbox in that. So then I got 2 12-volt ones, and now it's like full-on 2-wheel drive. This thing does 20 kilometers an hour now. It's just like it's flying down the driveway.
You could have been there last night. We had monster trucks and they had motorbikes going around the track, starting off with kids about 7 years old, and then teenagers go around, and then adults go around, and then ride on lawnmower racing around the track.
Oh yeah, they're awesome, those things, aren't they? I mean, they're not exactly practical. They're not actual lawnmowers. They're just the frame of a lawnmower, but they're pretty cool. No, they're the actual. You've got to use the original mower frame and stuff, and depending on the rules, a lot of them you have to use the actual proper motors as well, but you can play with them.
Yep.
But a lot of the time you've got to you've got to use the full setup that they come with.
So make sure you get one that's got a lot of horsepower when you start off.
So unless you had
the jet car they had.
Yeah, they're insane, those things. They're so loud.
Everyone was getting deafened. Yep.
Yeah.
Even when I play back the video at home, my daughter's like, "Can you just half the volume of that, please, Dad?" I said, "You were there, wasn't that?" "Yes, but I'm not there now, and I would like it much quieter, please."
And
there's a car there. There's a car there that he's melting.
Yep. It doesn't take long. The problem I've got is I just started that video up and it played at full volume, so I've got to remember to go back and edit that because rip headphone users otherwise. So.
Oh dear. Each week we hope to bring you interesting information about the crypto world and what it's all about from a newbie perspective. Today we talk about Egyptian authorities are mining cryptocurrencies on citizens' computers. Twitter is fixing fake verified crypto accounts. The MT GOX trustee crashed the crypto market. Is that what happened in December and January? Possibly. And what are mnemonic phrases anyway? But first, some crypto news. An investigation by the Citizen Lab has found evidence that the Egyptian authorities are mining cryptocurrencies on citizens' computers and laptops. Using internet scanning, the researchers found deep packet inspection middle boxes on telecom Egypt connections. Unencrypted traffic that uses HTTP, not HTTPS, was redirected to browser cryptocurrency mining scripts. Researchers suggest this was done in order to extract revenue from unsuspecting internet users. The report also identified some malicious system being used in Turkey to inject citizens' devices with spyware. Both Egypt and Turkey have been increasingly authoritarian in recent years, breaching multiple human rights obligations. Reporters Without Borders ranked Egypt 161st out of 180 currencies in its 2017 World Press Freedom Index, and 800 people have been sentenced to death since 2013. Journalists, human rights defenders, and protesters have experienced mass arrests, disappearances, and torture. After an extensive investigation, the team was able to track the network injections from both Egypt and Turkey to Sandvine Packet Logic Devices, an American-based firm which sold the Turkish system as part of a $6 million contract. At the time of the deal, it caused a prominent member of the company to resign in protest. Attitudes to cryptocurrency are split in the highly religious Egypt. Earlier this year, Egypt's foremost religious leader called for a blockchain ban, stating that Bitcoin was illegal under Sharia law. While some authorities in Egypt are against the technology, the attackers are likely making large amounts of money. A report from Talos earlier this month, a leading cybersecurity intelligence firm, estimates that malicious mining could be netting attackers over $100 million a year. The report estimated that each infected device could generate about 28 cents a day. With 2,000 devices, that adds up to $568 per day and $200,000 a year. It's likely, however, the nationwide system uncovered could have many more devices infected, leading to much higher profits. This type of attack has grown hugely in recent years, with malware researchers' labs alleging that over 1.5 million devices have been affected. Website owners have deployed the technology as an alternate to ad hosting. However, the primary use has been by hackers who slide the system into internet users without them knowing.
So what you're saying, in essence, is it's a glorified pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I've been working on that for hours. Leave me alone. So, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that 1 week we talk about some, network administrator somewhere running mining software on government computers, on work computers, and they get in trouble for it.
Meteorology in Australia.
and here we have the government running mining software on their own computers and everyone else's, and that's perfectly fine.
Yep, don't worry about it.
It's the complete polar opposite, you know. So
these are not the infected computers you're looking for.
Yeah. It's interesting that. I suppose it's not really surprising. It's Egypt, I guess, when you talk about their laws and stuff. But it's just once again Turkish is. Remember the Turkish? Was it Turkish or Pakistan with the whole breach of security thing with the what they call the Blackberries.
Yep.
As a third-party software again.
Had to hand over the keys.
Yeah, so it's not overly surprising, I suppose. It's probably the same company. They probably just swapped out to crypto, and probably exactly the same thing happened again. But yeah, I mean, what are they saying? 200,000 a year, assuming they got 2,000 devices. It almost doesn't seem worth it, to be honest. You think that the government would have, if they really were, if it was the government as a whole and they were vested in doing it, I can see them using a lot more than, a handful of GPUs to do it. So, I don't know. It's interesting, but we'll see.
I guess they don't have their own supercomputer to run it on, so we'll just use everybody else's.
Well, that's the weird part. The government would have, like our governments do. It's odd. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's strange that not only are they doing it on other computers, they're doing it in such a way that it's public knowledge, effectively. Yeah. It's something about it's just weird. I don't know. Did you hear that I was just reading news feeds before, and now the Chinese have changed their ruling so that you can stay in power. There's no terms anymore. You can stay until wherever for as long as you want now. It just passed.
Oh yeah, Donald Trump said that's probably going to happen in America soon if he gets his way. So
yeah, but that's. I'm just thinking of that with a situation like this. You know what I mean? Like, it really potentially.
Our glorious leader. There can be only one. It's kind of like Highlander, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. But I was just thinking, like, you got. Okay, in this case, you've got a government that is doing this, but as I said, like, they're calling for blockchain ban because Bitcoin's illegal under Sharia law. So this government gets in, allows Bitcoin mining and buying and selling and trading. Then this government's voted out. The next government gets in. They then vote that they're going to stay in forever, and they ban it. You know what I mean? Like, it's
only banned for the citizens, not for the government.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Okay, well, the government can make money from it, so nothing's banned from the government to make money from. That's fine. Just the citizens can't make money from it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But the issue of copying verified Twitter accounts. This is actually interesting because I was on, before I read the story, I was on our Discord. I was on a Discord, Crypto Currency, that other one that I can't think what it's called. I was on there earlier, and they had a big alert come up from their bots saying that if you get tweeted from these handful of, whichever particular accounts it is, they said that they're not actually verified accounts. They've just figured out how to hack the blue tick to make them look verified. And there's a lot of promised currency exchanges and promised things like that coming across.
Well, part of the problem was that once you get blue ticked, if the email address or name changes, the blue tick's supposed to automatically go away, but it doesn't. So what they do is they find someone who's got a blue tick who's not terribly important, hack their Twitter account, get the account, change it to Cryptopia 2, and it's verified, and it's got a tick next to it, and then suddenly people are taking advice from this thing because it says it's a verified one. But then again, I saw another story this week that Twitter wants everybody's accounts to be fully verified, so everything's going to have a tick. So where does that leave you? I don't know.
Well, I mean, a verified account, anybody can be verified as long as you can verify it's you being verified. You know what I mean? Like, a verified account's a good thing as long as it is a legit verified account, not just saying it's a verified account and don't put any background checking into it. I don't have a problem saying that my account's verified if they ask me for, they ask for a copy of my driver's license, something that's verified, fine. I don't
if
mind
they do it that way, yeah. If they're just saying it's a valid account or something, and we think it probably will, then everybody can be Will who just creates an account called Will now.
That's right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the difference between a verified account and a validated account.
Yeah.
This account's valid doesn't mean it's verified. It just means the account's active and there's a person at the other end of it. but it doesn't mean it's verified, and I think that's going to cause problems, and Facebook's had similar issues with that as well. But I'll read this story anyway.
Before you go a little bit further, based on what you were just saying, I'd noticed just now Dash have announced on their Twitter account the Dash Telegram group has been compromised and has been taken over. So don't listen to anything from that account at the moment. It says the t.me/dash news account's been compromised. Consider anything posted there as FUD, scam, or nonsense. So people are taking over Telegram accounts as well that are official ones, and then they can put anything on there like, hey, if you send me half Ethereum, I'll send you 5, and all that sort of rubbish that happens on Twitter all the time, which is what we were talking about Twitter getting rid of. Now they take over, hack into or something. I don't know how they get into a Telegram account. I don't use Telegram, but everything seems to be there to do with crypto at the moment for some reason. So,
well, I'll give you an idea. This is the same before the Discord chat that I was in before. You can see here from Justin Sun. Justin Suntron, I'm giving away 4,000 Ethereum to all Tron users. Read below to see how to get yours.
And it doesn't even say Justin Sun in the name. Look at the account name after the @ sign. People believe it just got his picture and name.
There's another one here somewhere too from
CZ from Binance.
Yeah. And they're like,
he calls himself CZ not giving crypto away.
Yeah.
And there's another one, Vitalik. He's also got something like that on his account.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting that that's made it like this is on the cryptocurrency form. Yep. But yeah, they just had a public announcement to everybody saying, if you see it, just be aware that that's actually
fake,
not legit.
Yeah.
It's sometimes
if you see anywhere on Twitter that somebody says, if you send me some Ethereum, I'll send you 10 times that Ethereum. It's not happening. They're just capturing your Ethereum and keeping it, all right?
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't get something for nothing.
There is cases like with Australia Coin where every Friday they do a drop party, and you'll just put your wallet address in there, and they'll give you however many shares of however many people sign up. So
yes, give them the public one, let them transfer to you, but don't transfer to them.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. So if it's working that way, then it's almost guaranteed to be legit. If it's working the other way, that's where you're running into problems.
You want to get something for nothing, get something like Neo, and then you'll get gas and ontology coins just thrown into your account randomly while you do nothing.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the way to do it.
Anyway, so I'll read the actual story now.
What story? I don't know what you're talking about.
I know, we've probably covered most of it, but I'll just quickly run over it. As the issue of copying verified Twitter accounts to trick cryptocurrency users is becoming increasingly prevalent, the microblogging company has said it was working to curb these copycat handles. Company CEO Jack Dorsey on Tuesday replied to a tweet that complained about ongoing cryptocurrency scam on Twitter, which has several users been tricked and their digital assets were stolen. Where on it, Dorsey replied to a user who questioned the CEO of the company was taking none of it. Coindesk.com reported on February 26, Dorsey had said his company was aware of the issues and said they were fixing the problem. Several users have been complaining about being duped on Twitter by fraudulent offers that promise a huge amount of Ether cryptocurrency in return for a small investment. I just completely lost where I was up to. There we go. These offers are being made by accounts that mimic well-known industry members and have blue tick or verified account. As a preventative measure, Twitter has banned several accounts, including the supportive team for cryptocurrency exchange Kraken, despite
the fact. It was actual real account, the support account from Kraken, and they said there's a scam going on, and Twitter is like, quick, ban that account. They're like, no, we're the good guys.
Yeah, they're the ones who are helping.
We're not doing the scamming.
On Tuesday, the ban on Kraken's customer support handle was lifted. Good news, guys, Kraken support is back. Strange that our initial appeal was also apparently handled by an automated system. Thank you for all public outrage. Stay vigilant, it's announced. That's I've actually seen that happen a couple of times where a tweet from a company warning somebody of a problem is the account that ends up getting banned. You're like, what? What? No. Yeah, I think you've done that back to front.
All the dodgy ones and ban the real ones. Good on your Twitter. That's the way to do it.
I had that on Facebook the other day. I reported a profile that I knew was fake because I know the person who created it.
Yep.
And just in case, you know, to give you an idea, he was using the name David Fake was the profile name, and it was all his company, but he was trying to pass off the company as a private, you know what I mean? Like, he's trying to pass off a private profile as a business profile.
Yep. And
then there's another one, another guy called, well, it's not even close. At least in that case, David's name was his first name. In this other one, there was one called Cole Trickle, and his main page was the Mountain Dew car, I think it was, out of Days of Thunder. Like, dude, come on, you're not even trying at this point. You're using a public name. And I reported it to Facebook, and Facebook went, oh no, we verified it. It's a real person. Like, no, it's not. But the thing is, because it's fully automated, your appeal just that's it. Nothing you can do if it doesn't. You know.
Yeah.
And I was just reporting because it was just a spam account. But I'm like, seriously, you just like. And then I've had my account banned.
Yep.
Because apparently William Tomkinson isn't my real name, and I needed to prove my identity. And I'm like,
sounds fake to me.
Yeah, I'm like, hang on, it's only linked to everything else I own that's using the same name. You know,
so generic.
Yeah, I know. But David Fake is perfectly acceptable, apparently.
Will would say, look, if I was making up a fake name, it's not going to have 50 syllables like I've currently got and take forever to type into every damn document. It's going to be like Will Tom. That's it.
Or well, actually, that was my old username at school. It was Will Tom was my school's login, and Tom Will was the default password. It was like, and they wondered why people's accounts kept getting hacked. I'm like, you couldn't choose your password. That was just what they gave you. Yeah, it was the first three letters and the first three letters, and then the first three letters are your first, the first three letters are your last was your login, and then your password was the first three letters are your last, and the first three letters are your first. It's like, for crying out loud. And then they're complaining because people's assignments were going missing and things were happening. I'm like, gee, I wonder why. I can't possibly understand why that would be a problem.
It sounds very limited, though. 3 of each, you know, there could be a lot of, you know, Bob Smith.
Oh, they had the option to put more in. So if there was
my one,
yeah, Bob's that's right. 2. That's what they do. They wouldn't actually add any more characters. They literally just put a 1 or a 2 after it, which was probably actually more secure.
Yeah,
because you didn't know which one they were.
I'll just take all the Bobs. That's all right.
So, but yeah, it's interesting that it had not. But the weird part, I don't understand. Okay. One, they've made fake accounts. I get that, and they may even potentially blue tick verified. But then you get professionals in the industry who fall for this again and again and again. And the follow-on effect of that is because they're stupid, it affects the cryptocurrency, and it makes it drop or whatever. I'm like, but it's all because you're an idiot. It's got nothing to do with these fake accounts. There's always going to be fake accounts. You know, like, are you not smart enough? You know
what they've also done too? They'll register. They'll have there'll be Binance, and so they'll be B1 NANCE, and say, hey, if you send us half an Ethereum, we'll send you 10 Ethereum. And then they've got 20 fake accounts that say, hey, I sent B1 Ants half an Ethereum and I got 20 back. This is crazy. It actually works. I couldn't believe it. And even half of them are written in some weird ASCII characters that don't even look like it's like cursive or and people.
They're supposed to emulate like screen captures and stuff.
Yeah, it must be real.
So someone does that. Her bloody Facebook and messages are all done in script. I'm like, seriously, why? Could you make it any harder to read the bloody messages?
Just leave it in Arial. Yeah. I like Arial.
But yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's not only, it's not like they've emailed out several thousand chains or anything like that. Blockchains or anything. They've just and affected the currency that way. They're affecting the currency through stupidity, which really shouldn't be a thing.
Enough people being stupid will cause a problem.
It's like, how many people are falling for this? What I don't get is they had a number. They don't say how many. They said they had a number of complaints about that particular account. I'd love to know how many that number is, because you can guarantee, if let's say they had 1,000 complaints, you can almost guarantee that there's at least 10 times that, if not more, people who didn't complain once they realised they got conned. Yep. So I'd love to know what the actual numbers are for people who went ahead with that.
Yeah. But you can follow the accounts mostly if they're Ethereum or Bitcoin. There, you can put it into like Etherscan website with the account that you send to, and it'll show you a page of it being added, 0.5 Ethereum sent, 0.5 Ethereum, 0.1 Ethereum, 2 Ethereum sent, just because they hope that they'll get 4 times as much if they send more Ethereum. If the more Ethereums I give you, the more I'm going to get back.
But if you send 0.01...
I knew this, my Nigerian prince one time, and I gave him $50,000, and one day I'm just going to get $1 million back. I'm still waiting. It's going to happen.
Was it The Onion that did a story on that, where they said there's a Nigerian prince who's died lonely and rich because he couldn't give his money away?
Yeah. It was hilarious. Nobody wants my money.
I keep sending out emails and I don't get any answers. Oh, dear.
The MT GOX, I'm not going to say Mount Gox. It's not Mount Gox. It was Magic the Gathering online exchange. The MT GOX Trustee has sold $500 million worth of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash between December 2017 and February 2018, it's revealed. Blockchain data analysis suggests the time of sale correlates considerably within the timing of the December crash and subsequent price falls in Bitcoin. MT GOX's Bitcoin addresses are well known, as blockchain detectives spent months analyzing them. One such address shows 2,000 Bitcoin held by the trustee were moved on December 18th. On that very day, Bitcoin's price stood at $19,000, briefly fell to $18,000, then continued to fall in subsequent days. On December 22nd, the trustee moved 6,000 Bitcoin. That's the big red daily candle in the website, sending the price from nearly 16,000 to a brief low of 10,800. It appears he gave some time for the market to recover, and then on the 17th of January at 3 a.m., he sold 8,000 Bitcoins, crashing the market again. He then sells another 6,000 on the 31st of January, but the vast majority was sold on the 5th of February, 18,000 Bitcoins in total, sending the price to its recent bottom, from which it then went on to recover and nearly double as the selling finally stopped. This suggests the trustee has sold it all on exchanges rather than off the counter, sending the price down some 75% by perhaps placing market orders. Moreover, since the addresses are public and probably watched, other market participants would have been aware of the move, but it might not have been clear that these were going to an exchange. And I saw a tweet from somebody who was saying, now let's see. Years ago, I had a ton of Bitcoin that I'd been saving up and investing in and got it to a really good value, and then MT GOX went bankrupt and all my coin went away. So I started all over again, and for the last several years I've been slowly building up my Bitcoin. I finally got it to a good value, and then the guy used my Bitcoins to crash the market and screw me up a second time, because he still got my Bitcoins except for the ones that got stolen. And so apparently what he's been doing is he was told he needs to pay back his debtors. So he's selling the Bitcoin that he does have, only some of it that the courts are allowing him to sell, in order to get cash to pay back the people that he owes money to. But instead of going to an off-the-counter place where it wouldn't affect anybody else's Bitcoin price, he just dumps it on the market and then claims the cash and sends everybody's Bitcoin and altcoins and everything crashing to the ground, because they're all linked to the value of Bitcoin at the moment.
But would that be because it's worth more if you do that, or?
the more coins you flood into the market, the less the value is because there's more. That's why some altcoins every now and then have a coin burn, and they'll burn off like 50,000 coins, and then it makes their going to be less available, so the price will go up because they're more scarce.
No, I realise that, but I mean at the particular time he dumps it, if he dumps 1 million coins in, or whatever he dumps in one hit, but would it be worth more at that particular second for him to do that than to go through an exchange? That's why I'm just wondering if that's why he did it that way, or if he just doesn't know how it works.
I don't think he knows how it works. If he took it to the off the counter, he would have got it at whatever the current value is, which would have been $19,000, and not screwed up everybody else's.
So, yeah.
Everyone's like, can you just like teach him so next time he needs to pay more debtors that he doesn't go and screw everybody else up in the rest of the world?
Unless he's actually doing
those who he screwed up in the first place.
He might be doing it intentionally too.
You never know.
I mean, if he's got a lot of coins and he knows they're tracking them, if he's trying to tank it deliberately so that he has to sell more to decrease his assets, it could be a deliberate move as well.
Well, apparently the court has said for him to recoup the money by selling the Bitcoins, but I guess they didn't specify how or where. So he's like, oh, yeah, let's flood the market with it and screw everyone up.
That's it. If he floods the market, well, that's it. It devalues. But see, it doesn't devalue his transaction. It devalues immediately after his transaction. Yeah. So he gets the money that it's worth, and then
he waits till it goes up a bit more for over a month, and then crash again, and then waits for it to go up a bit more, then crash again.
So it actually is probably a deliberate move by the sound of it, because they're saying here that the Bitcoin sell-off therefore appears to be specific to the coin, as a sale of $500 million would apply significant pressure on the price. Arguably the fourth time that MT GOX crashes Bitcoin. The first time was 2011 when he hacked out some 500,000 Bitcoins. Then in March 2013 when it was DDoSed. Then in February 2014 when it went bankrupt. And now 2007 and 2018 following a peculiar decision of the Trustee in the Japanese court to sell 35,000 Bitcoins and Bitcoin Cash.
Yep.
So... yeah, so I actually think he knows exactly what he's doing.
Please stop screwing over the rest of us.
Well, I mean... but it affects... see, this is the thing. It affects Bitcoin, but it doesn't necessarily affect a lot of the small coins. In fact, it would raise the value of some of them because Bitcoin's worth less. So it makes
really
them
small
seem...
ones, yeah. A lot of the others, the prices are pegged to the value of Bitcoin. If it goes down, they all go...
oh, they are, but things like Australia Coin and all of those independent ones that are quite hard to come across, they would actually benefit from that because they're not linked to it, so they would be seen as an independent way to do it. So people would actually be going to that coin. So it would actually... I mean, you got to think, if he's got, I don't know what's linked to it and what's not, but let's say Litecoin, for example, that's not linked to it. I know it is, but let's say Litecoin's not. If he sold, 100,000 coins, 100,000 Bitcoins, and then because Litecoin's not affected to it, he could purchase that and actually increase his value back. You know what I mean? Like, it might actually be a deliberate thing. He might, if he's smart, he could potentially be making money from that move. Yeah,
well, the courts got their eyes on him a lot, so if he starts making money all of a sudden, I think he'll get in even deeper.
But it's still, at the end of the day...
I think it's the trustee, it's not the actual guy who crashed it screwed everyone over in the first place, but it's still affecting.
That potentially could be one. Well, a trustee could be even more involved than he is.
Who knows?
So
conspiracy time with my tinfoil hat.
They haven't made it out of tin in like 40 years, right? It's been aluminium.
What do they make my foil out of? Aluminum.
Well, aluminum, yeah. They haven't made tin foil in years.
Aluminum.
Apparently, in mate of mine is in the States. They have in the same aisle. They have tin foil and they have aluminium foil, like literally next to each other. So apparently, you can still buy tin foil. I'm like,
oh, there you go.
Why would you want to contaminate yourself with that's heavy metals? That sounds like it couldn't go wrong at all.
What's wrong with heavy metal?
Speaking of heavy metal, segue much. Nice. Germany headquartered. You give me these are all big words. You went through all the stories and went, hey, these are the big words, and I'm going to give them to you. Germany headquartered car manufacturer giant Daimler AG, famous for its Mercedes-Benz and smart brands, presented its own blockchain-based digital cryptocurrency MobiCoin at the Mobile World Congress in 2018 in Barcelona. Cointelegraph Aufdeutsch reported on March 5th, the project, which started in February 2018, was created to reward drivers for environmentally friendly driving habits, i.e. smooth and safe driving at low speeds. The project will be on its testing phase for the next 3 months, during which 500 drivers who follow eco-friendly driving practices will be recorded with MobiCoins. According to Cointelegraph, data from the vehicles will be transmitted to Daimler and converted into MobiCoins, which will be stored in mobile app. Participants with most MobiCoins will reportedly receive VIP tickets for events such as GTM races, Mercedes Cup Final, or Fashion Week in Berlin. Yeah, because that's clearly car related.
Fashionable cars.
However, it's not known whether drivers will be able to convert MobiCoins to fiat currency or other cryptocurrencies. Recent months have seen multiple German auto giants embrace blockchain tech In February 2018, German car manufacturer giant BMW announced its partnership with VeChain, the blockchain-based supply enhancement platform. The same month, Stuttgart-based Porsche announced it has teamed up with Berlin-based startup Zian to use blockchain technology in improving locking systems and the capability of autonomous cars. Earlier in January 2018, Volkswagen chief... You mean they've still got a chief who admits to being a chief? Digital design Officer Jonathan
Johan Youngworth. Johan Youngworth.
Hungworth. What? Hungwith? When the supervisor, so I've got my stories over on that monitor and it's messing me up. Supervisory board and the IOTA Foundation, non-profit blockchain foundation for the Internet of Things.
Yeah.
So it's look, I was wondering when this sort of thing was going to happen because there's already apps and a lot of insurance companies do them.
My car, I've got an app that they have competitions every now and then for who's the best eco driver. I don't get coins for driving around. I get points, and then they're like, yay, Tony Smith won in Melbourne. Okay, we'll have another one next year.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I want cryptocurrency for driving my car. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I can see how it would actually be a thing. Because I was saying, a lot of apps, a lot of insurance company apps and things have them already, how they monitor your car. And there is a Toyota Prius and a Toyota Camry Hybrid leaderboard as well. See who gets the most mile per gallons out of their respective vehicles.
It's going to make the road safer. Everyone's going to be driving so nice and sweetly because they want that sweet Bitcoin.
Now someone will bring out a reckless driving rewards program.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to be in that one.
Will has copyrighted that, by the way. No one can steal it.
And so that'll be the thing. The worse you drive, the more coins you get. I mean, okay, you might end up in prison, but if you do that, you get a heap of coins. And
you
they
are
accumulate.
The winner. We'll see you in 25 years.
Yeah, they accumulate, so they'll be there when you get out.
Yeah, and the value is obviously going to go up.
Yeah, that's right. But no, I think it's a really good idea. And the only thing that's slightly concerning about this is the fact that they're using it as an excuse to monitor everybody's driving habits remotely from their servers. They kind of just bypass that little detail there. They all they said was that the coins would be transferred.
For value, well, that's what everybody does all the time, don't we? Give away all of our data so that people give us something.
I mean, giving away data is one thing, but I don't know if I'm keen on well, I guess if it's encrypted data and it's purely for databasing, I don't have an issue with that. It's going to just assign you a generic, an encrypted number, and then all your data's going to come in.
Where you're going, just how you're driving.
That's what I mean. As long as they're not tracking how fast you're going and where you are at the time you're going that fast, and then handing it over to cops or something that's where it gets messy. But I don't mind them tracking the data, and it sounds like it's mostly for economy driving.
Yeah.
Which ironically, this is going to sound really stupid. We had a lot of car troubles lately, and I just needed a car, and I just found a Prius Hybrid. And it was like, to go, new motor, yep, no worries, I'll take that. And it's funny, I'm never worried about fuel consumption ever. Like my Jackaroo does 20 litres per 100, and our X-Trail does like 15 litres per 100. I've never worried about it. It's just a thing that they just use a lot of fuel. the first I got the Prius, it's got this little indicator on it, and the more efficient you are, the bluer it goes. And like when I first got it, I was doing 8 litres per 100, which was already a half to 2/3 more than I was getting out of any of my other vehicles. Yep. And now, after having it for 3 weeks, I'm getting 6.5 litres per 100, which is like 4 times better than I was getting out of my other vehicles. And it's like, and now I find myself like hypermiling
like
and
this.
I find myself hypermiling and surge and coasting and all these other techniques that you can do in hybrids to get more economy out of them. And like, I don't even realize I'm doing it until I turn the car off, and then it flashes up your score. Like it actually tells you how you've done at the end of the trip. And like, it's so
when
weird.
I hop out of the car, my phone goes bleep. It goes, that driving was good driving. Oh, there we go. If anyone ever complains that my driving is terrible, my car has got proof of that. It said it was good.
So yeah, it's I can see how it actually gets quite addictive. Like if I jumped back in the Jackaroo again and went to a car that uses 20 litres per 100, I wouldn't care, because it doesn't matter how you drive that car, it uses the same amount of fuel. It just uses 20 litres per 100 under every situation. Yeah. You know, it's so weird. And then you go to a car that you know you can be economical in, so you do. It's just a really bizarre way the brain works. But I can see how that would be, especially like, for example, UK. In London, they're trying to ban diesels. Yep. And specifically four-wheel drives, but particularly diesel four-wheel drives and diesels in general. And their argument is that, you know, they're more polluting to the environment and blah, 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 which is, an old diesel is far less polluting than a new one. But that's why I was having a go at Volkswagen. They're cheap. But the funny thing is, they just had they've been under 3 foot of snow for the last month over there. And sure enough, all the old diesels that is polluting the environment and destroying our country have been the only things on the road and pulling everyone else out of ditches, you know. So you do. And the thing is, like, I think something like this in a large scale rollout, not specifically just high-end cars, but I think if there was an app that allowed you to do a similar sort of thing, like there's already Waze and stuff like that, and I've already got a logbooking app on my phone, but if you had that incorporated into a similar setup as these MobiCoins or just a generic coin base in general, and you go, hey, this tank I filled up, I put 65 litres in, I got 500 Ks, they're like, oh, well, okay, that's like pretty crap, so you can have like half a coin. And then the next week you're like, okay, I filled up, I put 40 litres in, I drove 700 Ks, you go, well, that's good, you can have 3 coins, you know what I mean? Like, I think it would encourage people who it'd be a two-way street. It would encourage people who normally don't care about fuel consumption to save 10%. If you save 10%, if everybody saved 10%, that's a huge saving. But it works the other way too. It then means that data is available so that they actually have actual usable data to go on, rather than just hearsay that they're using to make up all these decisions. They've got hard data, and that way the rules can be made on that hard data, so they can say, hey, look, well, actually, diesels actually aren't that bad when we compare it to, you look at some of the diesel four drives aren't that bad. There was one car that they were road testing around the highway. It was great. It used around town. It was great. It used like 3 litres per 100 Ks or something around town. You get on the highway and it uses 15 litres per 100 because the thing is so underpowered that you're literally driving flat to the boards to do 100 kilometres an hour. And it's just sucking fuel down. So on the testing, in theory, it uses no fuel at all, but it actually uses a lot of fuel in reality. So I think what my point is that these sort of incentives, what's the word I'm looking for? Incentives, that's the word I'm looking for. Has real world applications other than just the fact that you're going to get coins out of it. The data mining can be put side by side with crypto mining. Like the data and intelligence gathered from all books, like, so you can apply it at shopping. You can apply it, like, you go shopping and you can go, okay, this is on sale, this one's not. You say, but you get extra money for budgeting. Like, there's all these different applications this can be applied for. Yep. And if, for example, Woolworths decides, hey, well, look, if for every dollar you save on your shopping, you get one Woolworths coin. Then, once you've collected X amount of coins, you get 5% off your next bill, or you know what I mean. Like they can use them as a real world feature rather than just this what it currently is as a virtual currency.
Yeah.
So I'm actually quite excited, and we know about this from a couple of weeks ago with that power one, same thing, trading power and all that sort of stuff. So I'm really happy this sort of thing's becoming reality. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. And our coin of the week, as usual, we're not recommending purchasing it, just explaining what it is and what it can be used for, particularly if it has a good real-world use. ICX, or Icon, at icon.foundation website. Many cryptocurrencies offer theoretical advantages over more traditional monies that they fail to realize in the real world. Icon, a blockchain technology company based in South Korea, is attempting to bridge this gap by creating a decentralized network of blockchain communities that can freely interact with one another without sacrificing their autonomy. The resulting structure has an emphasis on real-world applications other digital currencies lack. Anyone interested in doing so may set up a community, or DAPP, decentralized application, on the Icon network and freely interact with other communities and dApps out there. Is essentially a giant network of networks that aims to help them all connect instantly and automatically, facilitated by a shared central ledger and token, ICX. For example, a health insurance company could submit a payment to a hospital on the Icon network. The transaction would be overseen by the Icon Republic blockchain and might be paid in ICX, the blockchain's currency. Or it could be automatically paid in some other currency using Icon's decentralized exchange to switch one currency for another on the fly. It's about more than payments. Icon can automate and facilitate many kinds of transactions. For example, a student might automatically receive a student discount on a transaction using ICX because their university community added their student status to their blockchain ID. Once the school community is integrated into Icon, the student's ID can be verified instantly by any vendor on the Icon network the student is transacting with. Likewise, opening a bank account at a large bank is significantly expedited by a hub of communities that provide all of the information the bank is looking for in one convenient place. Icon already has strategic partnerships with banks, hospitals, insurance companies, and universities in place to take these theoretical capabilities into the real world, giving the project an apparent leg up on most of its competitors. Icon wallets have access to a decentralized exchange that facilitates currency transfers and exchanges without relying on public exchanges such as Coinbase or Kraken. Most major cryptocurrencies are already available, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. This enhances Icon's universal appeal by allowing users to exchange ICX for nearly any other cryptocurrency whenever they want to. The ICX to Bitcoin value is currently 0.000289 Bitcoins, or $3.18 Australian, and I have 11.9 Icon coins. So it sounds actually what we were talking about last week when we were talking about having a point of sale that you would have all these different currencies. The Icon network has got a built-in exchange that can convert just about any digital currency to any other digital currency or fiat currency as well. So that might actually be the kind of bridging they need in the point of sale system.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. That's definitely a real world, application of this. And I think it'll be interesting to see how they develop this as time goes on. It's relatively new. It's been around for 6 months or something thereabouts.
Yep.
I think from memory. So it hasn't been around that long, but it's starting to show what it can do. I was just having a quick look at the wallet before, and it doesn't. It seems a little clunky from a couple of videos I was just watching. They may have been older versions, but this just needs to be wrapped up in some nice, neat, concise package, like some form of Android touch terminal, FPOS terminal sort of thing. And there's still got to be a way to do the whole instant transaction into a bank thing, bypassing the wallet. Basically going straight into a bank, but I think it's definitely one step closer. And as you said, it does combine multiple facets of what are required. So it's a good start.
And it's an ERC20 token, so you can put it in your Engine wallet or your MEW wallet or My Crypto or any of those, so you don't have to keep it on the exchange if you're worried about exchanges getting hacked. But I bought mine on the exchange. I think I've transferred it to my Engine wallet successfully. So that's one way to get it out of the system and add a bit of security. You don't have to use their official wallets. Right. I mean, a lot of them, well, some of them you do need the official wallet or an exchange, such as something like Neo, where they're going to be throwing out gas and ontology coins as well to add fuel onto the network. But if you've just got an ERC20 token, you can just pull it out of the exchange and stick it on your local wallet, and away you go.
I think you generally need a wallet initially, don't you? Most of them require the wallet to sign up, or at least you need the key, which you usually get through the wallet anyway, don't you?
Yeah, well, I buy all my stuff at an exchange, and then I just transfer it through to the wallet, which creates the Engine wallet, for example, that I use has got a wallet address for each of the different coins, so I can just transfer them. I don't want to have 50 wallets, and there's a problem with some of the coins. You have to have a wallet for this one. I was talking to Striker about this. Hello, Striker, you got to mention, good on you. And he's got like
camping or something.
He's got like half a dozen different wallets, and I was like, "What wallet do you use?" He sent me a screenshot. I was like, "No, which wallet do you use?" He said, "All of them. I've got this wallet for this coin. I got this wallet for this coin. I have to have this wallet for this." I'm like, it does my head in. I don't want to have, but they're not all ERC20s, and not all wallets are going to accept all the different types of coins as well. So some of them physically can't. It's just not possible. I don't think you can put Neo on any of those wallets that I mentioned already, because they're not ERC20 and they're just not compatible. And a lot of places, exchanges, are having difficulty adding in particular coins, such as I think it was Electronium that I've been mining recently. You'll probably talk about that next week, how my mining and stuff's been going. As they said, it's difficult to put it on exchange because it's based on Monero, which is not an ERC20 coin. So it's just very complex. If you just got an ERC20 coin, they go, change config, add this coin in, bam, it's practically done like that. But if you want to get something that's not based on ERC20, which is a common one, then you have to do a lot of fiddling around with APIs and stuff to try and get it to work. It'd be quite complex. So a lot of those keep getting put on the back burner, and everyone's like, why don't you put my coin on there? They're like, well, we've got all these other coins we can put on there, and like 10 minutes, your coin might take a couple of hours to try and integrate the network, so it's just not worth it for us.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely part of the problem with the crypto at the moment. You definitely get that sort of fractured currencies where you've, and as talking about the previous story there with the Mercedes and BMW and that, they've all got their own coins now as well. So that they're all creating. There's all these coins being created, but to do anything with them is becoming an issue. And even if you do have 20 wallets, there's still no guarantee that you can get currency from one denomination to another, even if you do have the wallets to do it. Yeah. And it
can be confusing for people. I'm like, average Joe doesn't want to have 20 wallets plus, a password for each of those 20 wallets. And some of them might be using the mnemonic phrase that we're going to be talking about. And there's just going to be so many things. People can't remember more than 3 or 4 passwords at the moment.
No.
To log in. That's why their Hotmail account and their Twitter account and their Gmail account and their PayPal account all got the same password. And somebody hacks one of them, suddenly got access to everything because it's just too much. I think you have 20 wallets and a different password or passphrase on each one.
Well, that's it. And I think the other problem is too, like even with some wallets, you have multiple wallets within that wallet, or multiple keys within that wallet. Like you might have, that wallet may have a desktop version, a web version, and a mobile version. Yep. And each one of those gives you a different key. So you might have the one wallet, but you've got 3 different keys for that one wallet. And then if I look at one of the wallets I've got where I've got 3 different keys, I've got 3 different amounts on each of those keys because I didn't realize at the time that I had 3 separate accounts within that one wallet. And I transferred my money to one, then I opened up the different one and got some money into that. And then I'm like, hang on, where'd that go? And then I finally figured out that, my mobile one's different to my desktop one, which is different to my web one. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't just pick one because I can't add that key to
all of them.
The other wallet. So I've literally I'm stuck with three different wallets, even though it's the same currency. And I'm like, it's the same exchange, same currency.
It's a bit of a cluster, isn't it?
So it's sort of like, well, okay. And then the problem comes if I want to transfer, say, 100 coins across, and I've got 20 in that one, and 50 in that one, and 75 in that one. I've got to I've got to transfer 50 coins out of here to put into this account, but I can't transfer out of that account because that's the mobile one. Okay, I've got to take the money out of my mobile account, put it into my desktop one, take the one off my web one, put it on my desktop one, but then I can't. I've got to transfer all that back into my web one, so then I can transfer it to the other one. You're like, it's just one. One's too many.
Yep. Now for our main topic, mnemonic phrases. I've got this information from the bitcoin.it wiki. A mnemonic phrase, mnemonic recovery phrase, or mnemonic seed is a list of words which store all the information needed to recover a Bitcoin wallet and other wallets as well. Wallet software will typically generate a mnemonic backup phrase and instruct the user to write it down on paper. If the person's computer breaks or their hard drive becomes corrupted, they can download the same wallet software again and use a paper backup to get their coins back. Anybody else who discovers the phrase can steal the coins, so it must be kept safe like jewels or cash. For example, it must not be typed into any website. Mnemonic phrases are an excellent way of backing up and storing Bitcoins and other coins, so they are used by almost all well-regarded wallets. An example of a mnemonic phrase is which, collapse, practice, feed, shame, open, despair, creek, road, again, ice, least. The word order is also important. A simplified explanation of how mnemonic phrases work is that the wallet software has a word list taken from a dictionary with each word assigned to a number. The mnemonic phrase can be converted to a number which is used as the seed to a deterministic wallet that generates all the key pairs used in the wallet. The English language word list for the BIP 39 standard has 2,048 words, so if the phrase contained only 12 random words, the number of possible combinations would be 2,048 to the power of 12, or 2 to the power of 132, and the phrase would have 132 bits of security. However, some of the data in BIP 39 phrase is not random, so the actual security of a 12-word BIP 39 mnemonic phrase is only about 128 bits. Is approximately the same strength as all Bitcoin private keys, so most experts consider it to be sufficiently secure. It is not safe to invent your own mnemonic phrases because humans are bad at generating randomness. The best way is to allow the wallet software to generate the phrase which you write down. Most people write down phrases on paper, but they can be stored in many other ways, such as memorizing, engraving on metal, writing in the margins of a book, chiseling into a stone tablet, or any other creative and inventive way. For storing on paper, writing with pencil is much better than pen. Paper should be acid-free or archival paper and stored in the dark, avoiding extremes of heat and moisture. Another bad idea is to write random decoy words that are somehow meaningful to you and later remove them to be left with only the 12-word phrase. The phrase words come from a known dictionary, so anybody can use that dictionary to weed out the fake words. So there you go. That's why when you get something like an Engine Wallet and you first create your wallet accounts, it'll give you 12 words. There's actually a couple of wallets I've seen that have got 24 words, so I guess that doubles security, or maybe exponentially increases the security of it. You have to keep
or
those...
Or it picks 12 of those 24 randomly.
Yeah. But they have to be in the right order and the right keys, and then it'll ask you, please type in the 4th word, please type in the 10th word, just to make sure that you have written it down, because otherwise you go, oh yeah, just like I totes wrote it down. Then your phone crashes and the software keeps rebooting, and then suddenly you're like, well, how do I get my wallet back? Oh, you didn't actually write it down, you just pretend you did. So make sure you write things down, people.
Yeah, because, paper's so much more secure.
That's why a lot of people are getting the Ledger Nano and the Trezor hardware wallets to store it on, and you don't have to worry. But then again, you've got all your wallets on the key now, and if somebody can get your password to that, then they've got access to all of your wallets instead of just one.
That's what I mean. It doesn't, when you think about it, it doesn't sound that secure, but it's no different than the old days when you used to have, when you were using what was that? I can't think of the. What was that? Personal. Was it personal encryption? Encryption key, what was that software that everyone was huge for a while there? Anyway, same sort of thing. You use a combination of words, whatever, to come up with your key, and in the end, you just use the same combination of words every time because you got Jacob coming out with new words. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
General private protection, whatever they call it.
Yeah, and it was same thing with that. You lose your key, so you end up making all your phrases the same, so you remember them, and then if you did lose, you couldn't remember which one it was that you lost in the first place.
Yep.
So, yeah. Well, pretty good privacy. PGP.
Pretty good privacy.
Yeah.
And then that became commercial, so they brought out GPG after that.
Yeah.
Which is like good enough privacy or something.
And yeah, look, I think that's another thing that's going to have to go to. If they want a secure key, I don't know if that's long-term going to be the best way of doing it. I think there's certainly going to be better options, even if it comes down to having, like a lot of banks now have those key fobs.
Yep.
That you have to put the number in.
RSA key.
Yeah.
I had one of those for PayPal. It was really great. It was just like a credit card that had an OLED screen, so it took forever for the battery to go flat. And every time you log into PayPal, you had to press the button and it'd generate a number in the LED screen. And then you had to type that in before you could log in and do anything with your account. And then eventually, after a few years, the battery did go flat. And it was like, well, I'm not going to pay another $12 for that. I'll just get them to send it to my mobile, which is better now because at the time I was buying stuff on eBay and using PayPal to pay, and I'd be like, okay, send me the code to my phone. And that arrived 2 days later, coming from the US. So by then, my PayPal login had timed out, and I couldn't use the damn thing anyway. That's why I got the card.
Yeah, I am the other way. I don't use two-factor authentication for that exact reason, because a lot of the time I'm in places where I can't access my phone, like I don't have signal. And it makes it impossible to do anything. So I don't use it for that exact reason. Like if it was two-factor authentication that gave me a secondary PIN or something to use, okay, fine, but not something that's got to send it to my phone or email or whatever, because a lot of the time you're not in a position to be able to do that,
Yeah, PayPal should do something like Authy. You got it on the app, you just open up, click on the PayPal one, boom, type it in.
I mean, I use the PayPal Pay Me or whatever the hell it is anyway, that and like if you go to a restaurant and you have a bill and you get the one bill and you can split it up like 4 different ways and everybody just enters their amount and hit now and it all sends. Use that sort of thing. I use the PayWave, pay FPOS and transactions and stuff. I use all that on there anyway, but yeah, it's just I have been caught out a couple of times with not either having my phone on me or not having internet access enough to have both a PayPal window and a Gmail window open or something like that. So yeah, I generally I probably should, but yeah, whatever. I don't have enough money in my account to worry about if anybody hacks it anyway.
Not anymore.
They can have my $12. They're welcome to it.
Don't forget, visit our website at aussietechcrypto.com. Send us an email from the Contact Us form or jump onto our Discord channel to talk to us. There's a link on the website. You're watching this on YouTube or something, click subscribe and like and stuff down there. And let us know what you think of the show. We always like to hear feedback, and we get a bit of that every now and then, so we're quite happy about that. And we'll catch you again next week. Bye.
Bye.
This show is a part of the Aussie Tech Heads podcasting network. You can listen to us at aussietechradio.com. We're not licensed advisors, so please don't invest your life savings in anything we say on the show. You can contact us at feedback@aussietechcrypto.com. Visit the website aussietechcrypto.com. Thanks for listening to Aussie Tech Crypto. Tune in each week for more fun and information.